But I want my kid back, man. That's my child, man. I want my kid.
His father's acting skills weren't enough to get rid him of a jury's anger. And that desperate call was just a lie that Chris McNabb was using to hide what he had really done to his daughter. Little Kalia, 15 days old, was reported missing. No one knew where she might be, but when her body was found, everyone pointed to McNabb as the main culprit.
Did it strike you as odd that Chris McNabb wanted to jump out of the car when he found his baby in the house?
Very much so.
At that point, the possible culprit's world had fallen apart. Of course, he didn't expect for her remains to be found. So as soon as he received the news, he decided to escape. The arrest warrant had already been issued, and his capture was imminent.
Incoming 911, was that a severe emergency? That guy that his baby was found dead is in the Chevron on 36.
McNabb's days as a free man were numbered. His punishment wasn't just before the law, but before society as well. An entire community turned against him for the heinous crime. There would be no forgiveness, nor would his crime be forgotten. The sentence? One that he himself dictated when he ended his daughter's life.
You claim you're innocent, so you tell me what sentence the man or woman that you claim did this should receive.
If you ever find out who did them, they deserve to be under the jail.
Okay, so they ought to get the maximum sentence.
Most definitely.
Okay. On the crime of malice murder, I sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
Somehow, the decision was already completely made up its mind, but the judge wanted to hear from McNabb himself what punishment he considered appropriate for his horrible crime. It was already clear to everyone that he was guilty. The evidence was terrible, but there it was, right in front of their eyes.
So now this is after all the bag is removed, all the coverings are removed, and this is how the baby was dressed with this onesie on, and there was also a diaper.
The images that they were showing at the trial were of how Kalia was found at the scene of the crime. The trial was tough for both parents. Of course, Chris wasn't the only one targeted as the culprit. So was his partner, Courtney Marie Bell.
While we may never know what baby Kalia truly endured during her short life, we do know that Courtney Bell admitted to Newton County deputies that she and Christopher McNabb smoked meth the night before Kalia's death.
The case generated immense commotion everywhere. Every hearing was televised, and the defendants had already become familiar faces. However, they had no trouble in maintaining their innocence, despite the fact that the evidence pointed to them as the sole culprits.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it.
Okay.
I've maintained that the whole time. I feel like there was things that were allowed to be said that should have never been allowed to be said. It didn't have nothing whatsoever to do with the case and what was being said. Just because somebody has domestic abuse issues with their spouse doesn't mean that they would put their hands on their kids.
Bueno, aquí nos estaríamos enfrentando con un sujeto con un trastorno severo a la personalidad, es decir, un perfil psicopático, donde la estructura psíquica se muestra claramente escindida. Esto quiere decir que este hombre posee mecanismos de defensa extremos, tales como una negación extrema y una escisión, donde no es capaz de integrar la realidad como una sola.
Eventually, both would end up being condemned for the murder of little Kalia, a girl who didn't get to see the world because of her parents.
Each verdict form reads in each of the counts against each defendant, we the jury find the defendant guilty. That's all 3 counts against Miss Bell and all 8 counts against Mr. McNabb.